This conference will now be recorded.
So basically, if you look at Katalon Studio, it has has the frameworks of Selenium and APM. That is what it says. It's a simple, powerful test automation solution for not only web and mobile application but also web services. It does. So it basically has inside it the Selenium and the APM frameworks, and it allows users with less experience in programming to do effectively by providing a predefined automation framework with hundreds of built-in keywords, which we have used. Now, Katalon can be used for native Android applications and it can be used for native iOS applications developed by Xamarin. Now, iOS applications, if you want to test, you need to have Katalon in your Mac systems, and you need to have the configuration of Katalon on the Mac system. That is what you need. Okay. Android can be you can test your Android application as well as iOS application in a Mac system. Okay, but if you want to test Android applications, let's speak about two different kinds of scenarios. One is a scenario in which you will basically have a Mac OS. In Mac OS, you can test both Android applications as well as iOS applications. But if you have a Windows OS can only test Android applications, cannot test iOS applications. So Katalon will be only able to test your native Android and native iOS applications. There are three kinds of application in any mobile platform. One is a native application. A native application is specific to the OS, whether it is the Android OS or iOS. Second kind of application in mobile is called as your mobile browser applications, which that means you're opening the application on the mobile browsers. Mobile browsers is available from MI. MI also has its own browser. Samsung has its own browser. And for iOS, the browser is Safari. Whether you're using an iOS phone or if you're using a Mac OS desktop or a laptop, they will have Safari browser. Android browsers are also there. Samsung has its own Android browser. MI has its own Android browser. So when you test an application over a mobile browser, that's called mobile browser application. The first kind of application is native applications. Native applications specific to Android OS or to iOS. And next is your mobile browser applications. Mobile browser means you're using an application over the browser which is present in your mobile. And the third is a hybrid application. Hybrid is a combination of mobile browser application plus native application. So Katalon with Katalon you can only test your native Android and native iOS. Now, if you're required to basically do a native iOS application testing, then you need to have a Mac OS, a Mac desktop with you. Otherwise, it is not possible. Okay. Uh, but having said that, if you have a Mac-based OS, there is a Mac-based desktop or a laptop, you can not only test your Android applications but also your iOS applications. And let's say you have a Windows based laptop, you can only do testing of Android applications with Katalon. Katalon as a whole is available both for Mac OS as well as for Windows OS, as you can know it. Now, there are a lot of tools which can do mobile testing. One of the tools is APM. You know that APM is a framework which is created over the Selenium framework. Then you have Selendroid, you have Robotium, you have Xamarin. But the Katalon tool, if you look at this Katalon tool, the Katalon tool allows you to actually write your automation codes with actual coding, without actual coding. So it uses keywords. Okay, as you have seen in Katalon, it's something like your UFT only, HP UFT. Okay, and there is a Katalon belongs to a company called as KMS Technologies. You can see that it's developed by KMS Technologies. It is absolutely free for you, but they have a cloud-based mobile testing, um, environment. And if you want to use their cloud-based mobile testing environments, it is called as Kobiton. So if you understand it, Katalon through Katalon, if you open up Katalon, For open up Katalon, you have the means to connect with the Kobiton. Kobiton is a cloud-based infrastructure by Katalon, and it is commercial. You have to buy it. You can do cloud mobile testing over the cloud. Mobile testing is possible over Android application, Android based, or it can be iOS based. And mobiles has to be tested with different. There are different what do you call models of mobiles, different models of your MI mobile, different models of your iOS, different models of Samsung. So all models either you have to buy it in real time and just test it, or Katalon provides you the Kobiton environment, which is not a freely available. Katalon is freely available. Kobiton you have to buy it. So it's a cloud-based infrastructure where you can do mobile testing over the cloud. That is what I mean. Okay. Now if you go out here, is you will see that tools. Where is that? Uh, Katalon help. Nothing's tool. Should be having Kobiton integration. Analytics is there. Kobiton devices. You can see. So if you click out here, it will basically ask you the Kobiton integration has not been enabled yet. Would you like to enable now? So you have to basically this is a you can go to your Kobiton get. You have to give the username and password in Kobiton. Enable Kobiton integration. Give the username and password, and they will provide you an API key. The API key will directly come out here automatically and restore it. Now this will connect to the Kobiton platform, which is a cloud-based infrastructure, and they will basically take money for it. Okay, so that is what Kobiton used for. So if your company provides you licenses for Kobiton usage for using the cloud infrastructure of Kobiton provided by Katalon. Katalon as a tool is free, but its infrastructure, cloud-based mobile testing infrastructure is costly. If your company provides, then you can integrate it from here. Just go out here, click on OK. It will open up this particular tool. You will have the username and password. Click on enable Coviton, click on connect. It will come with the API key directly. You can apply and close, and then you can work with the cloud infrastructure, which has different mobiles of different flavors, and you can test over the cloud. Okay. Now there's a little background on it. Basically, it's built top of Eclipse SDK. I've already told you. It supports record and playback for web as well as for mobile, Android. Okay, and supports your iOS right now also. Now for working with Android, there's a prerequisite. You should have Android SDK downloaded and Android virtual device created, and you should have the Android home environment variable set. If you don't have this in your Windows, so Android can work in Windows, Android can work in Mac OS. But if you want to work with iOS will require only Mac OS. It will not work in your Windows. So you have to basically have this particular setting. So you need to have Android SDK downloaded and ABD created. There is Android virtual device. And you need to have the Android home path set. There is the environment variable set out here. And I've given you the steps where how do you download the Android Studio. So first you need to understand that you have your Java environment variable set or not. For that, I hope you have your JDK. So if you understand it, I will show you. You go to your command prompt and fire the command called Java space hyphen version. And you will I have 1.8.0 underscore 231. Right now I have that. Okay, so I have shown you how to download Java and all, I hope so. And what you need to do, you need to go to your my computer or this computer, whatever you have, after you are downloaded. So when you download it, you can download it from here if you do not know. Java download. You need to have account uh, in your Oracle. Okay. So I will download 1.8 series. So I can just go order to 41. Let's download from here. And you need to have account created. This is accept the license terms and based on your platform, Windows 64-bit, 32-bit, Mac platform is this JDK. All those things, and you can click out here, and it will basically click next. It will install JDK as well as JRE. So by default, JDK gets installed in the OS in the drive in which you have your OS. So my drive is C drive in my OS defined. So it creates a particular Java folder, and this is the JDK. You have to take this path, copy this path, and go to your environment variables. So you can just do one thing. This PC, my PC, right click, go to properties, go to advanced system settings, advanced tab, environment variables. If you do not have Java underscore home, to create this particular Java underscore home, all in capital letters, please, and paste that path until your JDK, the path that you have taken some time back, this path. And the next thing that you need to do is the JDK folder that you see has a bin folder. Take that path, copy it out. There's an existing, here you can say okay. There's an existing, variable called as path. Here you can go at the last. If you have 8.1, this is the screen that you'll get. You can put colon at the last, semicolon, and paste that path until your bin folder of your JDK. I already have it, so I will not put it. I'll say okay. So this is the Java download installation and setting up the Java underscore home. Okay, and after that you can fire this particular command, Java space hyphen version, and if you get this particular message, that means it is installed in the system. So that is the first step that is defined in your PPT. Okay, next is you have to basically download the Android Studio. So you can just go out here. I already have those, so I'll just show it to you because without this you cannot go forward. So you can just write down download Android Studio. So I have Windows 64-bit. It already tells you that basically you have 3.5.2 of Android Studio. You can just download Android Studio from here. Read the agreeing terms and conditions and download it. It is a 719 MB file. You can see this. Ensure that your laptop is more than 8 GB. If your laptop is not more than 8 GB, mobile application testing will not work because Android Studio takes a lot of RAM space. Plus, you have to create the Android virtual device. So it also takes a lot of RAM space. So this is the download of the Android Studio. I have given the URL out here. You can go out here and download it. So you have to first install Android Studio. It is what it means. And required, I will basically can go to control panel and uninstall Android Studio first so that I can show you installation process. I'm now uninstalling the SDK manually. Okay, since I have downloaded your Android Studio, this is out here. I've kept it out here. Just double click on this. Android virtual device, you have to check this if it is not checked. Android Studio or virtual device, both. This is important. And by default, it gets installed out here. You can see this. This is the installation. You can keep these paths somewhere. For example, I've kept this path out here. Hmm. In the same, This is the path for your Android Studio installation. You just copied it. And if you wish, you can create a shortcut install. So let's start the Android Studio. Click on finish. It takes time to open up Android Studio, so relax. Do not import settings. Click on OK. Android Studio is an IDE for developer to create Android applications. But it is required by testers also because it has Android virtual device. You cannot have all devices real time. So you need to have some virtual devices also for testing purpose. So that is why Android Studio will require to create a virtual device. Click on next. Standard or custom. Android Studio will be installed with most common settings and option recommended for most users. So you can go to standard. And I want the light one, not the Dracula theme. Click on next. And these are the components that will download. We'll download the SDK components. You can see that. It will download the SDK build tools. This is the Android SDK. So when you install Android Studio, you're actually configuring Android Studio. This is the point at which it installs the SDK. And the SDK folder is this. Please remember it. Keep it somewhere. Control C. And I pasted it in the PPT only. This is the Android path for SDK. That's the path. Very important to understand. It's in the C users. My user is Lenovo app data. So this is not seen. Sometimes this is hidden. Just type it down in local Android SDK. This is where it gets installed. It will install these components. Emulator, SDK build tools, platform tools, accelerator. This is very important. If your laptop has this particular hardware, you can see when you go to the boot, when you boot your system, you'll go to the boot of your laptop. In the boot of your laptop, this hardware should be present. Intel x86 accelerator. For that hardware, this is the driver. Haxum installer. So if your laptop boot settings does not have this particular hard drive, what you call hardware called as Intel X emulator accelerator, then you won't be able to create virtual devices for Android or for your iOS. So have a laptop which will have this emulator accelerator as in the boot of your laptop. So if you go to boot settings of your laptop, you'll be able to see this particular hardware. Enable that, okay, and then you can install this driver, which comes automatically when you start the configuration for your Android Studio. Then you have SDK patch and sources for Android 29. Click on finish. It takes time to install this SDK. And yes, click on yes. Okay, installed. This driver is installed. You can click on finish. Okay, and now you can go to configure. This is the SDK manager. You can directly open up the SDK manager from here. And I would recommend you to basically download Android 9.0, 8.1, 8.0, 7.1, 7.6 until 5 series. Please download it. Okay, so these are the Android SDKs. So you only installed Android 10.0. These SDKs should also get installed. Okay, this is the SDK platforms, SDK tools. This is already installed. You can see that. Google USB drivers, web drivers, if you want it, emulators already installed. Uh, you can install the Google web driver and USB driver if you want to. SDK update size not required. So what you can do is that you can click on apply. It will install these and accept the license terms. Click on next set of installations. Nilofer, you're there?
Kaushik. Tell me, Kaushik.
Yeah, this will take time.
Yeah, it's okay.
Now you can click on finish and click on apply and say OK. So you actually have configured the other component for SDK. These are the things that you have configured. One is the SDK platforms 9.0, 8.1, 8.0, 7.1.1, 7.0, 6.0, 5.0, 5.1. And these are the names to it given. We've also configured and installed Google USB driver and WebDriver. So you're done. Okay. Now, what you need to do is that you have to create a project. So click on Start a new Android Studio project. Okay, go to the basic activity and choose the basic activity, which is chosen by default. Click on Next. Okay, this is your application. This is your project name. This is the package name of the project. This is the location on which it will be saved. It will be saved on your C users Lenovo. There will be a folder created by Android Studio projects. Inside this project will reside. It uses the Kotlin language. You can choose any other language, Java or Kotlin, whatever you wish to choose. And minimum API level is API 15. Okay, you can click on finish. Okay, so you have to create this particular application. And you can see it is downloading certain things and all. Down you can see sync. This is the my application project created. Okay, and this is the project structure you can see. And down you can see sync, downloading certain things. So let the download happen. Now, if you look at here is your the Avd Manager, the Android Virtual Device Manager to create your virtual devices, and this is your SDK Manager, the same that you saw some time back. You can open up with your Android Studio also. So what we need to do is actually open up the Avd Manager and create a virtual device. You click on Create Virtual Device, and you can create a virtual device for Android TV, Android phones, Android Wear OS for Android smartwatches, tablets. Stick to phone, and let's say it chooses Pixel 2 from the Play Store, and the size is 5.0 inches. This is the resolution. This is the density, and what you can do is you can click on Next. So it requires an image of the OS. So you can download Q, Pi, Oreo, these three. Download this. So it gets downloaded in your SDK path. You can see that this is the SDK path. So Google Play Intel x86 Atom system image. This is the image of your processor. Click on finish. Recommended to download Pi also. Accept the license, click on next. Finish and download audio too. Done. Finish and one Nougat I will just do it. This is the 25th version of Nougat. 24th API level I will not install that. Okay, click on finish. I will basically select one of them. For example, I select Oreo. This is the image I'm choosing. Intel image. So basically API level is 27. You can see Android 8.1 and system image is x86. Click on next and you choose the name. You can choose the name of it. Directly call this as Pixel. You can change the name. Pixel 2. Okay. Mm, Pixel 2 AVD. And this is Pixel 2 AVD with this is the resolution and DPI density. Android 8.1 portrait version. And you go to the show advanced section. You can go and check out this quick boot start from the state that was saved when the device last existed. Network speed is full, latency none. And if you scroll down, maximum RAM, it will take this amount of RAM. You can see this. And that's why I said that if you want to use Android virtual device and Android Studio, you should have minimum 8 GB. Otherwise, your system will become very slow. So out of 16 GB RAM that I have, it will always this virtual device will take 1.6 MB of RAM, 1.6 GB of RAM space. Okay, this is the storage it is taking. Okay, you can increase the storage, decrease the storage, and this is the SD card it will take. You can click on finish. So it's creating the Android virtual device. Okay, the Android virtual device is out here right now. And how do you start off? You can start from here. You can edit the virtual device from here. You can change the name, you can change the settings by this. And this is basically create a duplicate of it, wipe out the data, cold boost now, view details, delete it. You want to delete the virtual device. If you want to start, you can click out here. This is start of the virtual device. Let's wait. So this is a virtual device, and it should. You can close your. This is the virtual device. Now you can see it is booting up. Now you can see it has started. This is already the home button right now. You can click out here. You can go to browser. This should open up the browser and all. Go if you swipe like this, it should open up the browser. This is the browser. Accept and download. Next, no thanks, I don't want to sign in. So you can basically browse directly from here. Okay, so Android. Android. Click on enter. It will show you links pertaining to Android. See, this is how it works. Okay. You can go to the home link like this. Here's the home link. If I want to power or switch it off, you can switch off from here. You can switch on from here. Okay. So this is the virtual device creation and this is how it works. Now the important thing to understand is that the next thing is that you have to create your Android home. Okay, so what you need to do is that you have to go to your SDK folder. SDK folder will be always created in your drive in which you have your OS, My Drive, SC drive. You can go to users, you can go to Lenovo. You have to now slash, you can give app data. It will not be seen. Sometimes it is hidden. Then you can type it out like this. Click on enter. Local will be Android folder. SDK is present out here. So until this SDK, you take the path, copy the path, go to your this computer or my computer, whatever you have. Right click on this PC, go to advanced system settings, go to advanced tab, click on environment variables, create a variable called as Android_home, all in capital letters. Okay, and give the path until your SDK. Okay, and this path I have copied, and click on OK. Okay, the rest of the other thing is that you have to open up your path, existing variable called path. Okay, here what you need to do, as I have given in the PPT, you have to give the path until your SDK tools folder, tools bin folder, and SDK platform tools. These three are needed. So you can go out here, SDK. So SDK tools folder. You take this path, copy it, go to your existing path. I think I already have that. I'll just check it once more. You can see I have it until the tools folder of your SDK. So I'll capture it. Apache bin. Let me remove it and put it fresh. So you can go at the last. Go to the end. Click on the end button. Yeah. Put a semicolon and put until the tools folder. Put a semicolon now. The tools folder has a bin folder. Take that path. Copy it. Go to the same path variable. Put until the bin folder. Semicolon. And you go back to the SDK. There's something called as platform tools. Take this path also. So these are the three things which you need to put until the tools folder, until the bin folder of your tools, and platform tools. Once you have done it, your path variable is set. Click on OK. So your Android home is set now. And this is a setup that is required for your from your end. Okay. So I'm finishing it out here. So once the setting is done, you can just cross verify, go to command prompt and check up. Fire the call to Android. You can fire this command. You want to list out the virtual devices. What is the virtual device name I had given? Pixel 2 AVD. So you can just fire the command called Android list AVD. This is deprecated, you can see. but it will tell you that the name of the virtual device that I had created is Pixel 2 AVD. It is coming out here. You can see, and this is the path where AVD is kept. See, users Lenovo.Android AVD Pixel 2 AVD.AVD. Okay, so you can list out. So these commands will give you answer if the Android home is fixed correctly, the environment variable is correctly done. Now, for example, this is your virtual device. Once you start up your virtual device, okay, your system needs to know that it is able to recognize the virtual device or not. So if you want to see that your system is recognizing the virtual device or not, you can go out here to command prompt and fire the command called avd devices. So avd is not recognized the internal or external command. So you can basically start the server. Start. Sorry, ABD, not AVD, ABD devices. So ABD start server. ADB is a Android device patch manager. ADB devices, sorry. List of devices, you can see this is your Android virtual device name, emulator 5554. And the device key is coming. If the device key is not coming, it is coming the key as unauthorized. Then you have to do what? You have to fire the command ADB and kill the server. This is a server. So kill it. After killing, start the server ADB start server. This will start the server, you can see. And then if you fire the command called ADB devices, this will basically make you understand that is the device, that is a virtual device, recognizable by your system or not. If it is recognizable, it will come with the device name. It is called as emulator -5554, and the keyword will come as device. If the keyword comes as unauthorized, then you have to kill the server. I have showed you ADB kill -server. Then start the server ADB start -server, and then fire the command called ADB devices. You will see that list of device that is recognized by your system will come. Recognizing your virtual device right now. It is called as emulator -5554, and the keyword will come as device. That also makes you sure that your system is also recognizing. That is your laptop recognizing the virtual device, and that is recognizing because of the Intel Haxum driver that you have installed while installing Android Studio. Okay, so I will stop it out here right now. All the settings are done. We can show you the automation from tomorrow.
Hello, Kaushik.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know when will you give us API testing?
API testing.
Yeah.
API testing is not of the agenda.
What?
It is not part of, it is not part of your agenda. Only mobile and web.
Yeah, but initially Poonam told us that everything you will be given.
No, I've already sent you the details. The details is only about mobile automation as well as web, not about API.
Okay, let me just check with the syllabus again. Okay.
Thanks.
Your question.